Welcome back to Athletic Everyday, day number 105. Coming at you with a work gym upper body workout. Today's workout was 3 sets of 3 strict press. I was planning on doing 5 sets of 3 weighted pull-ups, superset with 5 sets of 3 weighted dips. But that ended up being 4 sets of 3 because, again, I've got plenty of time on my side. I don't really want to be, rushing, trying to get an extra set in when I don't feel like I was able to do it without, stressing yourself. If you do this superset where you do weighted pull-ups and weighted dips, again, if you're not, again, I'm coming off this last week having not done that much volume on these exercises. You can sometimes, at least I can in my experience, sometimes get a little bit of flaring up in the biceps tendons. You might think like, how do dips flare up the bicep tendons? But when you go into a deep range of flexion with your elbow, that does also show. So if you go into a deep range of flexion with your elbow and then you go into a deep range of shoulder extension, so pushing your humerus, so your arm behind your back, you can get this on bench press as well. This is why bench press is a good exercise for also building biceps. But yeah, when you get into that deep range of flexion, you get a lot of eccentric loading on the bicep. And obviously when I'm supersetting that with the fatigue from the weighted pull-ups in a neutral grip position, again, where there's a lot of stimulus on the bicep tendon, especially if I'm lowering eccentrically nice and slowly, then yeah, you can get a flare-up of the biceps tendon, and I don't want to, trigger that to get any worse. So 4 sets was my limit today. But overall, pretty decently moving heavy weights. Weighted pull-ups, I was doing 3 sets. I did 2 or 3 sets of 3 with 2 sets of 40, and then 1 set with 45 kilos because it was starting to feel pretty good actually. So yeah, that was that for the pull-ups, and I did the exact same weight for the weighted dips. For some reason, the weighted dips didn't feel as easy today as they did the other day. I did a set of 5 with 40 kilos, and then today I did only a set of 3 with 45. It might be because of fatigue, it might be for a bunch of reasons. I'm not going to make excuses, to be honest. I'm just glad that I got this workout, and it felt really, really good, actually. When I was doing the pull-ups, they felt really explosive. Obviously my pulling strength has improved over the last few months where I've been training muscle-ups quite a bit. So it just feels really fun and powerful to get to that weight not to that strength level and that power level when you're able to do chest to bar pull-ups like they're nothing. When your own body weight just feels light, it's such an amazing feeling. And the same thing with the dips, when you can just sort of like explosively do dips. I was sort of contemplating actually doing clapping dips on these on this dipping bar that sort of slots into the squat rack, but I didn't want to risk falling on my face because the bar didn't look that stable. But yeah, clapping dips also. It's just nice to be at this power and strength level with your upper body when you're able to do bodyweight movements, and then just like it's nothing. It's just like controlling your body weight with your hands just feels really cool. And I actually managed today to do a just messing around at work, in between sort of times when I don't have stuff to do. I do like to take a break from the desk and go and walk around. And one of my colleagues was like, "Oh, I heard you could do like a handstand push-up today." Because I was showing one of the people in the gym. We were just talking about it, and then I was like demonstrating, how overhead press strength can actually translate into handstand strength. And I was thinking like, I wasn't gonna be able to get a full one, but I was actually able to get, against the wall. I can't balance it yet, but I leant against the wall, feet against the wall, and then I lowered myself all the way down. I was actually able to get my head to touch the floor and then push myself up from that position. And I was thinking, well, that is kind of like a partial rep with my body weight, which is like 85 to 88 kilos. So that just goes to show how, strict press training, push press training, and even overhead training in general will always massively improve your overhead strength because it's a similar movement pattern. So yeah, single rep of body weight handstand push-up, not bad, head to floor. Obviously, balance and going at that from a freestanding position is a lot harder because the range of motion is slightly more. You're sort of trying to get your nose to touch the floor, but that is going to be a goal one day, guys. I really do want to master a lot of these calisthenics skills. I do love bodyweight training, but for me right now, dunking is always taking the priority. I've got to work on my vertical jump, but then make sure that my body training is complementing that. Hence why I've started to incorporate more of these weighted dips. And then finally, to finish up, after I did all the weighted dips and weighted pull-ups, I did some chest training. Now, I very rarely do this kind of like cable flies, but oh my God, I kind of wish I'd started doing these earlier because you can really feel that contraction in the pec because of the cables and the nature of how they work. For the entirety of that range of motion, all the way through the range of motion, you've got equal tension. So even when you're in that fully stretched position at the back, and when you're at the very top of the movement, when you sort of close your hands together, you sort of touch your fingers together, you're getting the same tension because the cable distributes the tension equally throughout the entirety of the range of motion, because you're always having that cable under tension. So, and then as usual, of course, I finished up with some neck training. I've been neglecting neck training over the last few days. It sort of takes a back seat. It's still the thing I always do last in the workout, but I gotta say, this is probably the best way I've found of doing training for the back of the neck. It's this weird attachment I have for this rig at work. But you can also rotate the head, which is quite nice. And I thoroughly enjoy doing these, coupled with the regular plate neck training. So that is it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. Hopefully I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.